Hello, and welcome to Metrics That Matter, October 2014 Release Overview. This video will focus on enhancements made to our dashboard module. For this set of enhancements, we've done two things. We've added two new widgets to our widget catalog that look specifically at multi-select questions, and we've enhanced an existing widget to have the ability to see the data by form type. So ultimately, the main goal was to be able to give you, our clients, a visual trend of learning effectiveness data that updated automatically with minimal effort. As more of you are starting to utilize the MTM editions, the need to share this visual of this type of data was becoming more and more common. And the way to get to this data today was to go into MTM and generate reports such as the Human Capital ROI card, and take that data and put it directly into trackers to be able to display them over time. So I think aside from the fact that now we have the ability to trend this type of data automatically, the effort to do so is minimal since the data already exists in the surveys in MTM and is pulled directly from those surveys. A good scenario to think about why you might want to add these widgets to your dashboard would be to look at how students answer specific questions right after a training event, in a post-event, and then sometime later in a follow-up, so you can really see if that gap in responses increased or decreased over time. You'll see that in an example as we go through the slides. So let's take a look at the different widgets. Alright, so let's take a look at the new widgets, starting with a multiple choice average trend. So this first enhancement we'll take a look at is the multi-choice average trend. This widget has the ability to look at specific percent-based questions that are found on our standard forms to provide that average trend over time. It is a visual format that allows for much easier communication than looking at specific responses. In our scenario here, trended over 12 months, we see the same question we typically use to identify scrap learning. The question, what percent of new knowledge and skill learned from this training do you estimate you will directly apply to your job? Now this question has a percent-based question, so you'll see 0 to 100%. The widget itself will allow you to select the question, but not the answer options. So what it'll do, it'll take the average of the answers for those all the percent responses and put them into this nice trend that's easy to see and easy to communicate. Looking at this trend here, we can see that students estimate to use less of the training, so the scrap learning is really increasing during Q3. This is a good indicator for the person looking at this trend to see what exactly type of training is taking place during that time where people don't feel they will use much of. So the second widget we'll take a look at, this is another new widget, is a multi-choice answer distribution trend widget. So with the second one, you will be able to look at specific answer options rather than an overall average to see how those trend over time and compared against each other. So the second widget is the multi-choice answer distribution trend. This widget is a little bit different than the previous one, is that it's a little bit more specific. It looks at the display of percentage-based questions as well as word-based questions, like the one you see up here in an example. When the question is selected, the answer options available for that specific question will populate below. And this will work the same way for word-based as you see here, as well as the percent. Except in the percent, it will populate each one of the percent options. Unlike with the previous widget, where the answer options were averaged out and displayed in one trend, here each selected option has its own trend line, making it easy for comparison for alignment, as well as monitoring the effectiveness of a specific program. In my example here, if my organization has an engagement that is focused on decreasing risk, I can quickly see by looking at the widget trend to see how many people are saying that they feel that the training impact is actually on the decreasing risk metric. This last widget we'll take a look at in our dashboard series is an update to our existing widget called the Trend Scale Distribution Top Box Percent widget. This widget is an existing widget that formerly did not have the ability to look at data by form type, but with this new enhancement, you'll be able to see data in terms of form type. The update to this widget was in the spirit of doing things by form type. This widget allows you to put the story in a visual context so you can quickly see at a glance without having to go and run several reports to see a comparison between two form types for specific responses. This widget makes it easy to see and trend over time the gap between things like job impact on a post event, where it is a predictive measure of how much impact did the event training have, versus on a follow-up where how much did it actually have, how much impact did it actually have. So being able to now trend data in terms of form type also reinforces the benefit of collecting follow-up data, because it helps identify improvements or decline in responses from students. A few key takeaways I wanted to review with you on the three widgets that we've reviewed. For the first one, the multiple choice average trend. Remember, this was the widget that had the one trend line and all the percent answer options were averaged into that trend line. It displays numeric value questions only, so it's only able to look at the multi-choice that have percentage, where there's an average that can be made. The second widget was the multi-choice answer distribution trend. This one, remember, was the one where you had the options of selecting your answer options. One thing to remember, again, is that it has the ability to only display up to 5 answer options per trend widget. And also, this one is unique that it takes numeric and string data, so the word answer options like we saw in our example. And lastly, the trend by form type. This one works with any category that collects numeric data on a form. So if you have a specific category that appears on a post event and a follow-up, you can put a question on both form types, and then you can trend that category so you can see the answers to those questions. This concludes our demo. Thank you for viewing the Dashboard Enhancements video for October 2014 release.